Well, it's September, which means it's back to school season. So how will the retail environment fare during one of its bellwether seasons? What happens in September gives us an indication of what to expect for the rest of the year. And everyone seems to be worried these days. Joe Feldman, analyst at Telsey Advisory Group, though, is going to give us some better visibility in just what he's seeing on the ground at the country's malls. Joe, just how bad is it out there?
Well, it's still a challenge. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet from a consumer spending standpoint. You know, traffic seems, relatively stable with last year, but it's still not a lot of heavy spending going on. We're not seeing the incremental purchases. It's really a need-based spending environment right now.
And by need-based, you mean it's the denim, it's the backpacks, it's just the basics?
Yeah, absolutely, the basic supplies. I mean, I don't think anybody's going beyond or picking up that extra top or the extra accessory that they might normally get in a more normal environment.
Now, we've seen some fairly positive economic data in the past few weeks. We've seen the market run up, though we're not seeing that happen today. How much of a separation is there between the broader economy and what you're seeing with consumer sentiment, consumer confidence, and the consumer's ability to spend?
Yeah, our view is that the consumer's still not spending yet. I mean, the unemployment rate is still at a high level. We've not seen the stabilization there. I mean, it seems like unemployment's finding a bit of a bottom right now, but even some of the labor data that we got today was not really terrific, especially relative to expectations, and that's what gives people caution and concern. They don't want to open their wallets when they're worried about their jobs.
And that unemployment level is also fairly acute within the teen segment, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It was a very tough summer for teens in terms of employment, and so there wasn't that extra cash in their pockets. And then if mom and dad don't have as much cash to give the teen, we're expecting, sluggish sales trends, probably, negative 3 to 4% same-store sales in the month of August.
Joe, I remember last year at back-to-school season and trying to gauge at that time which stores were going to make it because the credit environment was so incredibly difficult at that time. Are we past the point now of asking who is going to survive or not? I mean, are we looking at the survivors? We're just looking at a weaker environment overall?
I think we are, for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there'll be the stragglers that may not make it in the end, but for the most part, we've seen a lot of the retailers, even the weak ones, be able to renegotiate credit facilities or get the borrowing or lendings that they needed. And at this point, I think that they're going to survive through the back half of the year and get through the holiday season.
What do we know about the holiday season? Are we going to actually see sales growth, or are you forecasting a flat holiday?
Well, we're still forecasting a pretty tough holiday season. I think that we'll see sales, the comparisons will look better just given that there's such easy comparisons from a year ago. So numbers will look sequentially better and like sales are improving. However, I don't think we're going to get to positive sales data for a lot of companies.
Okay, who's winning in this? I mean, does Walmart still have room to grow? There seem to be so many people hiding out in those shares right now. There's a question about what opportunities are still to be had in the discount category.
Right, yeah, I think the discounters still are winning, certainly from a fundamental standpoint. They're getting the traffic, they're getting the sales, and they're driving that profitability to the bottom line. But and to your point, the stocks have kind of stagnated a little bit, but every day when we've seen these down days in retail, Walmart and some of the other dollar stores and discounters have been up. So they're still playing that defensively, and if you think that the economy is going to be a challenge for the consumer through the back half of the year, we think that the discount and dollar stores are still probably a safe place to be.
And the Sachses of the world, the Barneys of the world, who's going in there and spending right now? How closely are their fortunes tied to that of the stock market itself?
Yeah, those very much are. I mean, you can see luxury spending is very closely tied to the stock market and how well the market is doing. We're still seeing, sluggish trends at some of those higher-end stores. The very high-end seems to be doing okay, and then we've seen stabilization there. But the Sachses of the world have still been a challenge.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe Feldman of Telsey Advisory Group, telling us what to expect out of tomorrow's August sales results.